Alrighty, hello and welcome everybody to Fargone Racing GT Challenge season number 20. And this time it is going to be for one last time here around the Silverstone circuit. It is the season finale here in Silverstone, and it is going to be an absolute rip snorter of an event. I am Lindsay Model in the commentary box, but it is not just me in the commentary box tonight. I am joined by the one, the only, Charles Bertoni.
Hello, hello. It is I, fabled man from London, from nearby Silverstone. So I'll be happy to walk you through the track itself, some of the battles that we're going to be having, and some of the strategies that we'll be playing out. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be absolute cinema.
Yep, it is going to be an absolutely fantastic race, as you probably would have guessed if you've been watching this season all season long, all 9 rounds, and then 10 if you include this one. Being broadcasted or have been broadcasted, so we've been able to watch this season evolve every step of the way, and Steve-O's never put a foot wrong. He has just absolutely dominated this championship, or he already has it wrapped up.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a pretty interesting one. I think the obviously you've got the pro ones where it is wrapped up by Steve there, and you know, fair play to him. He's had a brilliant season. There's no doubt in that. But for the silvers, just to sort of run you through it, you've got Biggie Hugs on top, 2,192 points, and Speed Racers only 2,176 points behind. So it's going to be between these two for the silver title. Lee Perkins hanging in the background with 1,900, and MJ with 1,827. So podium positions are all being fought for across the grid for third and for first. So keep an eye. We're going to have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, it is going to be a cracking finale to this season here in Fargone, and then we'll rinse and repeat and go again in probably a couple of weeks. But Steve-O is now kicking off his first flying lap in this qualifying session as he went through Cops very nicely, and now into Maggots, Beckett's, and then get ready for Chapel as well. This little complex, very, very nice here around the Silverstone circuit. Definitely one of my favorite tracks in the racing world. It is just such a fun circuit to drive, even in a GT3 car, which doesn't have as much downforce as the cars I'd usually drive around here. I always just find this track enjoyable as he heads now into Stowe and then towards the Vale chicane. It's just such a fantastic track, and I'm sure that you'll have absolutely no British biases about it at all, Charles.
No, definitely not. I mean, out of the calendar that you've got for ACC, Brands Hatch obviously being my closest and most fabled home, which I've absolutely loved that circuit since being yay high. But Silverstone, it's just that it's one of those crown jewels in the calendar. You know, you see it for F1 and you even see it for this calendar. Everybody loves a bit of Silverstone, and it's not an easy track to fully adapt to. You have to really sort of learn to hone your car through the apexes and what you can typically actually bring through. I mean, the last time I raced in this was in a Ford Mustang for an Enduro, and I have to say, you know, you feel it after a while for about 3 stints. You know, it is one of those twisty sort of tracks, but I think obviously Steve will probably take pole for this, but the silvers is just what I'm so interested in. You know, I think for yourself, like, what's your predictions in terms of Hugsy versus Speed Racer for this one?
I think Hugs will take it out. He's had an absolutely electric finish to the season. He had a really good round out in Zolder, took an overall win, so over both of the top of the classes as Steve-O's coming to the line. What's he going to do? Is it going to be valid? Yes, it is, a 57.5. Get out of town, Steve Reese. Absolutely cracking lap. Nathan Monk's 1.3 behind. Not what I expected to see out of the Ford Mustang. He's a very quick driver and normally likes a bit of Silverstone, but normally he does Silverstone in an Aston Martin, but he's in the Ford Mustang here in Fargone Racing, so he's got to adapt to that one very quickly. But yeah, I think Biggie Hugs will be able to knock this one out with the momentum he's had so far this season. I think it should be no problem, as currently he's sitting in P4. Eden Nick across the line, P6 in the BMW. Not a quick lap for Eden Nick at the moment, as we'll now go to Lee Perkins. He's heading on to the straight now as he's heading down the Wellington Straight, or now known as the Lewis Hamilton Straight, since what I think last year, maybe the year before. It's been renamed as he now heads through Brooklands and then the long right hand of Luffield. Lee Perkins has had reasonably up and down season. I have seen him up there in the last few races, but the start of his season wasn't the strongest, as maybe he'll just be looking to pick that up going into season 21.
Yeah, knowing Lee the way that I do, sometimes Lee can be his own worst enemy, just a little bit too aggressive at certain moments to have cost him with the car and thus with the points. And I think he has got the pace ultimately, and he has the grit to be quite fighty and punchy. I mean, I myself have had quite a few battles against him where it has either resulted in a little bit of a collision or some absolute cinema for the final laps. So we'll have to see what version of Lee sort of turns up today. You know, I think he's got the BM more in tune, he's had more time with it, so I think my estimation is I would not count him out for trying to take P3 in the championship today. And I think he's got it all to do, but we'll see what kind of lap he can produce. Seems a bit sort of in a good frame at the moment for what I've seen him compete in, previously with Ferrari, but now BM, so see what he can put on the calendar, eh?
Yeah, he's doing pretty well as Nathan Monks jumps up into P3. Steve-O is now beginning another lap in this qualifying session. I do believe it's a 15-minute qualifying session. It's setting us up for 2 races to finish off the season. Yes, race 2 will be a reverse grid 25-minute race. So that is going to be what I think will really shake it up. We know that Biggie Hugs took out his first win of the season in the overall standings in Misano, of all tracks in this format. The reverse grid just always shakes it up. I do think it'll shake it up a little bit less here around Silverstone, as there's just a lot of space to work with. Really supports overtaking. It's just great for racing overall, so maybe the leaders won't struggle as much as a track like Misano, where it's pretty difficult to get an overtake really going, but it's still not easy to get past a car here.
Yeah, no, I think you have moments where, especially later into a stint where your tyres are starting to have complaints with you, and you're throwing the car around, you feel the back end going out more and more, that overtaking does become a little bit more scrappy, I think is the way to put it. But coming into these sections here where the car properly slows down and you sort of get right into the mirrors of your opponent, it's all about the psych battle, I think, where you're putting your car and where you can force the mistakes in those corners. And you've got these long straights, you know. If you're right tucked up behind somebody, you're going to have to really force the agenda coming into this section here, lining up towards the straights. So I think you're going to see some pretty scrappy battles, and especially a bit of a battle of the manufacturers. Ford, with Mr. Monks in it, is definitely going to benefit on these straights, I can certainly tell you. But Ferrari aerodynamically is very strong, so interesting battles to come.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with you. And Stephen Rees just improving his best lap time in this qualifying session. There's still time to go. I definitely saw mistakes in that lap as well, so he might even crack a 56 here if he really is able to get it together in that Ferrari, but already a 57.2 is an absolutely electric lap time. But somebody I'm really interested about is the man we're looking at right now. Longy, last time out at the Hungaroring, was on controller, and he was not very quick, obviously, being used to his wheel, but I know what equipment he has underneath him for tonight's round, and he's absolutely eating it up. He's absolutely loving it. Longy has upgraded to a SimMagic Alpha U with a GT Neo. So I absolutely know what that feels like, having an Alpha myself with a GT Neo, but I've also tried out several Alpha U's myself in person at a little joint in Sydney, so I know exactly what that wheelbase is capable of, and it is absolutely a fantastic bit of equipment. And right now he is looking quick, a 57.7, still 5/10 off of Steve-O, but this is also his first race, to my knowledge, that he's had with this SimMagic, and he's already looking back to usual form in that McLaren, so he'll just be absolutely enjoying it tonight before he's really going to try and use that equipment to mount a championship charge.
Yeah, I mean, the front end grip there of the McLaren is just eating up those corners and just kind of really nice. I mean, I think the McLaren will be quite strong here today. It's got that, you know, that quite punchiness at the front, really steers with the throttle, and I think that benefits quite well at a track like Silverstone. Obviously, BOP is going to bring it a bit more into line with some of its opposition, but, you know, it's having a pretty good day at the office so far. Having a P2 on this sort of grid is nothing to really sniff at. And you're up against Steve Rees. It's never going to be a simple equation, is it? I mean, he's 57.055 there. He's nearly breaking the 56s. I don't know what he eats for breakfast, but I certainly need some of it because he's putting on quite a show, quite a clinic at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think his breakfast is a normal breakfast. I'd say there's a little something in it, at least before he goes racing. I'll give you the hot tip. He definitely enjoys himself while he's out on the racetrack, but he was so close. He was 3/10 up when he headed into the long right-hander of Luffield, but I think he had a snap when he was doing the direction change from Brooklands to Luffield, and that cost him those last 500th that he needed to break the 56s. I don't know if he's going to come out again in this qualifying session, but I'd absolutely love to see him try and break those 56s just to really just give it that one last. This is the last race of the season. Nothing is going to change. I'd absolutely love to see it. I know that Steve-O is considering a car change going into next season. I don't think he's going to, but he might. But I think he might be sold on that Ferrari. And I know one man who is definitely sold on the Ferrari is this man, Hoggy. I spoke to him last night. I was like, are you going to ever change cars? Because he's ran it the last couple of seasons, apparently. I've only been here since last season, but apparently he just refuses to give this car up. And yeah, I spoke to him. I was like, are you going to change cars? And everybody just told me no. And he goes, yeah, no, I'm not going to change cars. So I think that he absolutely loves this piece of kit that he has underneath him. I think that Eden Nick might be trying something other than the BMW. I can't exactly remember my conversations, but we will see some changes up next season.
Yeah, it's always interesting seeing what people's style of driving is, but also what kind of kit benefits them the most. I mean, one person who I will bring up for being a bit of a talent with that sort of thing is actually Lucas Keys. I've seen him previously hustle around the Porsche and the wet at Monza to then a Lexus at Nürburgring, and it's, you know, no matter what you sort of give that man, he seems to sort of adapt and get to it. Myself, I love the Lexus. I've tried more so now, especially with Slip, trying to bring it a bit more into the fold some of the times, and it's a difficult bit of kit. Obviously, we don't see the Lexus here per se, and it does lack, I think, a little bit behind its competitors. But you know, you can see Hoggy. He's got the Ferrari in tune. He knows what the car wants to do, and you can see it there. You know, he's taken P3 there over Monks, and he's not far at all over P2 in the hunt there, and he's got 2 minutes 30 to do it in. So I mean, Hoggy, he knows the equation. He's got all the maths sorted out of the Italian stallion. It's just a matter of finding that final sum and putting it P2, I reckon.
Yeah, and that's always the hardest part in a qualifying session, just finding that last tenth or two in the lap time. That is absolutely the hardest part, and we'll see if he can hook that one up, as now Eden Nick is coming up towards the line now. He is going to improve marginally, I believe, but it won't be enough to get past Nathan Monks. Actually, as he crosses the line, will it be an improvement? No, it will not be for Eden Nick, so the final sector hasn't come to fruition in that BMW. Steve-O deciding to stay in the pit lane, so I don't think we're going to see him out on track anymore in this qualifying session, as Hugs is currently lapping around the circuit. He's coming up towards the line now. Is it going to be an improvement? No,
this is it for him. He's got to put it all together, though. This is it. This is do or die. Speed Racer's just had the edge on him for the silver here, and this could mean the championship. He's got to put this lap together and try to find just a bit more time in the car. Steering with the throttle, siding it left and right at the moment. You just got to get the apex in, Hugsy. Right off the throttle there, steers the car nicely. Seems to be similar time, similar delta from what ACC is telling us. Sometimes it's a bit fiddly, but he's up on the delta just a smidgen. And we're just going to have to see how he handles it coming into here. Brings it into third. Steers the car out. He's up at the moment, and it would be enough for that position of sixth. Oh, but it's a momentary mistake, perhaps. No, it's not. It seems to be just enough on the delta. He's actually increased it even more. This could be P5. Oh, Lindsay, hold my hand. I can't take this. I think the McLaren potentially could be up to P5. He's just got to keep the lap together.
And he's flying.
Oh, it sure is. He's got his wings on at the moment for Maka, but it's just going to come down to these technical turns, and that's something the McLaren is pretty good at. He's just not got to fluff it up. and he seems to be all right. Hugsy now, he's lost a 10th there though. It might not be P5. I think it potentially still will be. He's just got to nail it in this final section. McLaren there giving everything it can with the wing setup that it's got, flying down this section.
Yeah,
It's quite tight.
Can he get it done here?
I think he has.
Oh, as he rounds through Luffield and now up towards the line. He's lost it all on the exit. Is it going to be enough here for Biggie Hugs to take it over his rival?
Has he done it?
And has he done it? Yes, he has. He didn't get the P5, but he has pipped Speed Racer. But Racer's still halfway around the lap of this circuit. He has only done one part of the lap so far as he heads through the Vale chicane. He is a good couple tenths. He is a good tenth behind Biggie though, so this is going to be a very good lap if he is going to try and get that P6 position. The Aston Martin pushing around this circuit as hard as he can possibly go. We know that pole position in overall is all wrapped up. What about pole position in the silver class? Speed Racer currently sitting very close to his previous best lap time. He takes a lot of inside curb there in the Aston Martin. The British engineered car can take it through the suspension as he now makes his way onto the Wellington Straight, handled the loop very nicely as he made his way through and onto the straight and now up towards Brooklands and Luffield. He's down on his previous best. He's a 10th down. It looks like the hope is slipping away in the cockpit of that Aston Martin V8 Vantage as he now has one more corner to go here as he heads through Luffield. Can he get a good exit? It's not going to be enough. He's 2/10 down as he makes his way to the line, so Hugs is just about able to secure the silver pole position, but Stephen Rees is your man on pole position by a 6.5 tenth margin.
Perkins has got a pole. Wait, where does that come from?
That is a big shock. Wow. Where has Perkins? It's the sensational car. That's what I'm putting it on.
What the hell?
Everything on
Perkins.
the sensational car.
What the hell? Perkins, how the hell? What the hell? Where did you come from? What? Oh, what a shocker. I don't know how to even dissect what we've just witnessed. First and foremost, down in His Majesty's Finest. But I have to say, Hugsy, they nearly put a P6. It was so close. It was just a slight margin. Speed Racer just overpushed the Aston just a tad too far. You know, lost the speed, the apexing with that car. I know it doesn't like it as much as the McLaren there. McLaren's a bit more of a hot lapper car. And it's all going to come down to the race now. And I've got to say, Perkins has put themselves in a brilliant position. And in a position to perhaps play spoiler. So, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, the battle for P3 in the championship in terms of the silvers, you know, they put themselves quite a head and shoulders above MJ. MJ's got a lot of work to do and a lot of cars to pass, but anything can happen. All it takes is Perkins to slip a wheel into the green and make a serious mistake there for it to all be open once again. Hugs and Speed Racer are going to be sharing a, you know, side-by-side slot together. So I don't imagine that's going to be all handshakes and hugs coming into the first corner. It's going to be elbows out, setting the agenda, aggression fully on. So, wow, we've got ourselves something lined up. Wherever you go, put on a cup of tea if you're inclined that way. If not, a BlueSky will probably absolutely do, because we're about to witness something I can only dream of, which is a very full-fledged championship battle coming down to the wire here at Silverstone. Nothing more I love as a fellow British man. I can't tell you. Oh, it's going to be brilliant. Lindsay, what's your take, my friend?
Yeah, I think the silver class is going to be very exciting, but the main thing is that it's not all won from this P5 position that Lee Perkins has put himself in. There is 2 races tonight. There is a reverse grid factor to this as well. So Lee might have the best race of his life here in race 1, but could all go wrong when he starts closer to the back in that reverse grid fashion, which could allow this man right here of Speed Racer to really put himself into this battle, and the same with Hugs as well. So I think there's a lot of unknowns here in the final round at Silverstone. It's been a 10 race season And it's all going to come down to this in the silver class. We know that pro class is already wrapped up, but if they are fighting up the front, that'll be the battle that we are looking at. But we have now only 15 seconds until we get ready for the green flag running. So Stephen Reese, your man, starting on pole position from Longy, from Hoggy, from Nathan Monks in your top 4. Then Lee Perkins leads away the silver class and P5 overall with Eda Nick in P6. Biggie Hugs in P7, Speed Racer P8, MJ P9, Tobasaya in P10, then your Swooper, Ninja, Ross, and Lee. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, for the second last time this season, but for one last set of races in Fargone Racing GT Challenge Season 20. The green flags ready to fly, the green lights ready to illuminate here in the Silverstone circuit, and we are underway for racing action. Stephen Reese getting off to a good start here as he makes his way down towards the first apex, and it's nearly neck and neck between Longy and Stephen Reese, but they managed to just about get his car ahead as they make their way now into Baggett's and Beckett's. Nathan Monks has a nose up the inside of Hoggy, isn't quite able to get up the inside. Lee Perkins though is trying to make a move on Eda Nick, who's gone off the racing track. He's all off the racing surface now. Biggie Hugs trying to put a nose in as well. Speed Racer has fallen back. MJ trying to put the pressure on as Hugs is now going for a move for the silver class lead. Eda Nick sitting all the way up there in the order. He's made his way into the 5th spot as now Will Hugs go down the inside of Lee Perkins at Stowe. He thought about it, he nearly hit the back of the BMW, and now Lee Perkins has a run on Eda Nick as they make their way down towards the Val chicane. Lee Perkins is on the inside. He goes down the inside of the Val chicane, and he's side by side for the leader silver class, and he can't quite get it done. But now on the exit, he's inching back ahead as they head into Club Corner, and he's going to go the long way round. What a move from Biggie Hugs.
Jesus, I don't know what Hugs is thinking there, but it just about works out there very marginally. God, that could have been disastrous there for the McLaren, but somehow he gets the elbows out and gets it done, chasing up towards Nick, and my lord, he's got it all to do, and it's not over yet. Lee Perkins chasing in the background there, and Speed Racer's not giving up chase whatsoever. MJ as well has made it up to 9th. MJ putting his hands firmly around P3 at the moment, saying, no, you're not getting away from me, I'm going to keep gripping on. Absolutely brilliant start here. I mean, you can see Eda Nick now is being chased by Hugsy, and in the background, it's an entire train of cars. This is absolutely going to be a skirmish and a half. Oh, Perkins there throws the car a little bit far out. Oh, Lindsay, I don't know about this one. I think Silver's going to be really scrappy, and we're going to see the elbows right out for this one. I would not be surprised if it gets a bit bargy.
Yeah, Steve Reese has absolutely checked out in the pro class already. There is a little bit of a battle for P2 in overall at the moment. Longy is very much under pressure from Hoggy, but this silver class fight is absolutely electric, and also Eda Nick in that pro class is leading away this big silver train. He's currently sitting in P5 overall. Biggie Hugs trying to put the pressure on though. He wants a buffer. He wants another car between himself and Lee Perkins. Just give him a bit of a safety net, but that could hurt him more than it helps him when you come into race 2, because that'll give him an extra car over him on the race start. But we just saw that Biggie can make the best of not an optimal grid position off at the race start. That was absolutely fantastic stuff to go the long way round of Club Corner after not really getting alongside at the Val chicane. But the F1 Grand Prix final corner was very much in play, and I don't think I've ever seen a long way round move at that corner, but Hugs just made it work to absolute perfection, capitalizing on a mistake from Lee Perkins, and it was absolutely sensational stuff, if I do say so myself. But Longy is under an immense amount of pressure right now from Hoggy as they make their way into Village and then the loop, and Nathan Monks is lurking in the background as well in the Ford Mustang, and a little bit defensive is Longy. He doesn't feel that he is safe here from the Ferrari, as the Ferrari is now going to mount its challenge as they head through the flat-out left-hander of Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. Will the Ferrari be close enough to attack? I don't think Hoggy is close enough to attack. Nathan Monks in the background also not quite close enough to put the pressure on for the P3 position just yet, but it's very close between these three for the fight for P2.
Yeah, my lord, I mean, it's just, you can see there, Longy took that line to be as defensive as they could be without compromising the car as much as they can, but it's just, you know, that Ferrari is sticking very much to the rear of it, and you can see Longy there. He just absolutely knows it that the Ferrari's just trying to munch him any sort of corner that they potentially can. I mean, look, you can see it there, darting to the right, just has that overspeed going into the corner. It's going to be a little bit messy then. Thinks the less of it and thinks, no, actually, I will reassess my position here, get back into the mirrors and just cause you a bit of grievance. And Monks is sort of absolutely enjoying this, to be fair. I mean, coming on these long straights, the Mustang is going to reel in the Ferrari and reel in the McLaren. There's no escaping that. And you can see Hoggy has accepted that. They've had to dart to an inside defensive position to not let Monks just munch up past. Because it's going to be one thing. If that Mustang passes you and you get to the straights, it's going to be a bit of a game over, I think, unless you have significant difference in speed there.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that one. The Mustang is an absolute rocket ship, as we've gotten used to over these past couple of seasons. And Nathan Monks just didn't get the greatest run through the chicane, and that is not playing well to his favour, as that's going to drop him a little bit off the back of these two, but he's still very close behind, still within 5/10 of Hoggy, who also didn't get a great run off of the Vale chicane, but he's still right within attacking distance here of Longy. He just needs to get a good exit, but it won't be this lap. He is definitely cutting it close, but not quite. Meanwhile, though, the battle for P5 is still raging on as Nick, Hugs, Perkins, Speed Racer and MJ in this train, all still very, very close together. And I'll tell you what, Nick does look like he's closing in a little bit, potentially, on Nathan Monks. So this could become one very big, long train here in Great Britain, and I'm absolutely all here for it if Nick can pull it off. But we do know that those P2, 3 and 4 cars are just so fast, and then just don't even think about Steve-O currently just sitting 3.3 seconds up the road. I would not be surprised if we see an appearance from Steve-O in the live chat tonight. I know that last week my chat was broken, so I missed all sorts of things in the chat, which was potentially just a bit suboptimal, but no activity from what I can see so far. But I would not be surprised if Steve-O tries to reverse across the line again.
Sounds about right.
He did it in Spain. Well, he actually had such a big gap that he stopped and reversed across the line.
God, you cheeky man, Mr. Reeves, you cheeky, cheeky man. Well, one thing I will say, British trains may be absolutely delayed, but one thing that isn't is this absolute locomotive of action at the moment where you can just see Hugsy is just climbing over the back of Nick at the moment and won't let up that chase. The McLaren, they're really benefiting in these sort of lower time races that you've got on. It's going to be quite punchy, and it's going to be quite a dogfight, I think, between these two. And you can just see it, he's keeping within the rear wing of that BM. I don't know what their wing setup is at the moment, to be fair, but you can just see it in the background. Lee Perkins is having to fight off for his championship hopes here. Speed Racer, and Speed Racer is just keeping tucked in, assessing where Lee is going to be weak. I mean, Lee's had a little bit of a mistake, I think, in the opening sectors of that race. The pressure there was quite insurmountable, I think is the correct term for it, with how all the cars were together. But it's got it all to do. The BM seem to be in a pretty good harmony here at Silverstone. Just enough frontline speed to sort of keep a good distance, and nice and sort of agile enough in the corners to really get a decent apex. You see where the Mustang there struggles, and it tends to go a bit wide. It has to change that line compared to the BM, where it just finds this sweet spot that it can sort of accelerate out to the corners, which is typical. I think the BM is a little bit lacking at acceleration sometimes. I don't know what you feel about it, Lindsay, but it seems that the BMs are having quite a good day of it at the moment for their respective positions.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. I think that the BMW is normally a little bit slow off of the corner, but I think that once it really gets going, it just absolutely flies. It's not too bad in a straight line. It's not Mustang speed, it's not Mercedes speed or anything along those lines, but it's also not Porsche slow. So I would say that it's overall just a well-balanced car, and that's the thing about the BMW, isn't it? It's just a well-rounded, well-balanced car, and that's what makes it so good for drivers that potentially just like a well-oriented, well-balanced experience across all the tracks on the calendar. And I think that that is what Nick and a lot of the other BMW drivers on this grid feel. I think we have a lot of BMWs this season. Obviously, we have Nick, we have Tobeside, we have Sweeper, and I think there's a couple of more that aren't here tonight. But I know that there's a lot of BMWs this season, and I think that's exactly why here in Season 20. I think it's just a very balanced option, a very neutral option, and it just plays into the hands of people that just want to get the best out of all the tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just to sort of chime on the battle at the moment, Eatonic has got that gap down with Monks to 0.7 1 second sort of region. Monks, I think, is starting to see the struggle of the Mustang at this track, where you just can't take the same lines as your opposition that have got more front-end grippier cars. So, you know, you may scream down the straights and fly off like an eagle, but the corners is where people are going to reel you in. And it just takes one small mismanagement, I think, of the car into the apexes that allows your opposition to really get close. And I mean, Eatonic there, he's half a second now, isn't he? Look, he's really reeling in Monks. This is all going to play into the last 15 minutes and the championship battle. This is fantastic stuff. Oh no.
What's happened?
The stream has frozen. What's happened there? Hold on. Oh, might be. Hold on.
Should be
Oh,
back.
the joys of technical. It's just buffering for the moment.
Okay. We had
continue on.
All right. Anyway, we had Zach O'Reilly's power go out yesterday during the LMU series as well, so that's always absolutely fantastic. Sadly, had to end that stream early because I don't own Circuit of the Americas. But there we go. Everything's going all well. We are back.
A moment.
That is a moment as now Hugs is trying the outside on Eatonic as they make their way down the hanger straight and into Stowe corner now. Can Eatonic hold it on the inside? There's a little bit of contact. They touch. Can Lee Perkins now find his way into this as well as they go wheel to wheel? Who's going to be last on the brakes? Hugs has the inside line. Eatonic holding the long way around now. Lee Perkins has the long way round and now he has the inside. This is where Hugs got the move done the long way round on lap 1 and Lee Perkins trying to return the favour, but Hugs just about able to hold on to the place, and that was stellar defence there from Hugs, but it's all kicking off here in the battle for P5.
Oh my lord, it's almost Max Verstappen and Hamilton here years ago. Once again, he's going to be thrown into the damn fence if this goes on. Oh, we go to the outside. He's going to try and power it, but it's not going to be enough. He tries to chop back, but Lee Perkins is looking for it. He's holding round to the outside still, and these three just won't give up in this relentless dogfight here. My lord, it is all changing around in the mirrors, and it's asking those questions to just get that position up. I mean, Monks right now is rubbing his hands. He's about 2 seconds away now, thanks to that battling. But it's also brought Speed Racer back into contention. There's 13 minutes left to go. Laps are plenty, and it's just still kicking off between these drivers. I nearly thought there it might end up with a collision. Oh, a bit of a slide there, and it's all just getting messy from these drivers. The pressure is on, and they can feel it. It's tangible. It's in the air between them, and I just think that Lee Perkins here is lining up for a bit of a move there. He's right under the rear wing, trying to tuck in a better apex, but it's just not going to be enough. Oh, Lindsay, I'm gonna die by the end of this race. My lord, these guys are just giving me heartache at the moment. You think they're going to go off, you think they're going to have one moment sliding around, but it's just keeping going.
Perkins went very wide. Racer nearly got alongside him as they headed towards Chapel, but now Hugs is left to his own devices to try and attack the BMW of Lee Perkins once again here as they make their way towards Stowe corner. He's not close enough this time around. I thought we were going to see a repeat frame for frame of the 2022 famous through goes Hamilton moment here at the Vale Chicane. It nearly happened, but it didn't quite come to fruition. I was quoting it in the lot, but it didn't quite fall through for me. But Lee Perkins sitting now a little bit further off the back of Biggie Hugs as they make their way down the F1 Grand Prix first straight, and he is now under pressure from Speed Racer more than anything. He needs to close back in to Biggie Hugs, who's still trying to put the pressure onto not Lee Perkins, on Eatonic. And Nathan Monks, though, struggling in that Ford Mustang, as you said, Charles. And now he's really dropping back into the clutches of Eatonic. We saw a three-way fight not that long ago, as speaking of Longy and Hoggy still absolutely going at it. But Nathan Monks just really struggling with tyre wear, it seems like, in that Ford Mustang. And Hoggy's giving it absolutely everything he has now as they head into Luffield. And can he get a good run? And I don't think a Copse corner move would be the place to go for it. But if the Ferrari gets a good exit, if Hoggy does get a good exit, he could put the pressure on down towards turn 1 on Longy. Longy with new equipment, maybe unfamiliar, maybe lacking a little bit of consistency in that McLaren. But right now, Hoggy has all the legs on him, but Longy in the front end of this battle. It'll definitely play to his strengths, to his advantage at the moment as they continue to battle away here as they head through Maggots, Beckett's, and then into Chapel. It's all about the run onto the Hanger Straight. Can Hoggy try and put a move on here against Longy as they make their way down the straight now with the slipstream? The Ferrari will be gaining and gaining on Longy the whole way as they make their way down the straight towards the fast right-hander of Stowe, but I don't think it's going to come out for an inside move here for Hoggy, who goes very late on the brakes compared to Longy. Nearly runs into the back of him, but definitely Hoggy just pushing Longy around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you can just see it there. Longy sort of going a little bit defensive at some avenues, assessing where that Ferrari is going to come out in terms of the apex, and you can just see it's getting a bit slidey with the tyres there. They're starting to push it. I mean, the track temperature is not too bad for them, you know, but it's just the fact that you're pushing these tyres really hard, and you can see in the background, like, Monk is literally sliding that torque-filled Eagle toddler munching bloody Mustang, where it's just absolutely flying through these straights, but the torque, with the tyres degrading the way it is just making it so it just becomes more and more slidey, and the McLaren is so bad for it. It really does eat up rubber like nobody's business. And I have to say, I think we could be potentially looking at Hoggy making a last dash attempt to try and throw that Ferrari past, but it seems as if the McLaren's got the legs on it just to keep it at bay for now.
Yep, he is
but
able
you can
to
just see the apexing.
Yeah,
go on.
He has a great run through Lovefield, and he is able just to hold off Hoggy as there is under 10 minutes to go. We know that this is a 25-minute race. There's 2 of them, so I don't think we'll see this battle's finale. I think that these two, Longy and Hoggy, will continue to battle as well in race number 2 as they fight their way through the back markers as well. So it could be very interesting. There's a little bit of a slide there at turn 1 for Hoggy. Really just putting that 296 on the raggedy edge here in the closing stages of race number 1 of 2 tonight, and he's really giving it everything he has here in the final race. He really wants to put one over Longy before they head into season 21, but he's going to have to give it absolutely everything he has if he wants to get an overtake done. He has had an absolutely stellar run towards Stowe Corner, but he's not close enough.
Monks, I just had to chime back. Monks there went across the grass. I saw that. Something is really not right with Monks at the moment in terms of the way that car is getting in, and you can just see it. They're all gathering up to him. I think in these last minutes, Monks is going to have to pray and really live up to his last name there, because he's got it all to do if he's going to keep these lot behind. They are absolutely snapping at the heels of him. And the points matter. The points really matter coming into the finale of the championship here. Oh, I don't envy his position.
Yeah, it is going to be a highly pressurized position in that P4 car at the moment. But Longy only 2/10 behind. Longy as they head through the braking zone of Village, and now into the loop. If he gets a good run, Longy has had a poor exit compared to Hoggy as they make their way through Aintree and onto the Wellington Straight. Can the Ferrari finally put a move on the McLaren here as they head towards Brooklands now, as they head into the braking zone? He's not quite close enough, and in the background as well, Eda Nick, not quite close enough to the Ford Mustang of Nathan Monks. You can just about see it, and that's a very wide entry through Lovefield for Hoggy. He's trying to open up the corner. He's trying to find a way past Longy by any means necessary. We're going to go on board here with Hoggy now as he tries to chase down this McLaren, as he tries to put a move on this 720S that's been sitting in front of him. He's been staring at the back of since lap number 1. Hoggy really trying to put him to his paces here, and that was a little bit wide at turn 1 for Longy as they make their way now through Maggots and then into Beckett's and then Chapel. It's just so close between these two drivers. It's all about the exit onto the straight. Hoggy did have a good exit. Longy also had a good one. He's going to be gaining in the slipstream, but the McLaren does have the legs in a straight line, but the Ferrari is closing, but I don't think he's going to be close enough towards the braking zone. He's running out of time here in Silverstone, as that was nearly a bump. That was nearly contact there between the P2 and P3 cars as they head towards the Vale chicane now. And Hoggy is just so trying to put the pressure onto Longy as the time ticks down and time is running out. Hoggy is driving like he's running out of time, and that is because he is here in Silverstone.
My lord, he's trying to get the hammer and tongs out, isn't he? It's almost as if the McLaren that has like DRS on those straights seems to be just keeping that gap enough to not warrant a big lunge there from Hoggy. And I think Hoggy can sense that. He's trying to dash left and right. I think he's trying to assess. Look, that line there. He's figuring out where Longy is weak and trying to just get closer and closer. But it's just honestly, the McLaren just seems to, I think he's running a lower wing setup. He must be, because the McLaren right now just is in that straight line, just chucking away from him. And there's not a lot that I think Hoggy can really do in this situation in terms of that, unless Longy has that moment of madness. And, he just holds that inside. I think the frustration is getting to Hoggy a little bit there, and he's just got to find where he can push that Ferrari and just find the exit. But Longy there doing a fantastic effort to defend. And I've got to say, in context behind them, there's still Monks, Nick, Hugs, Perkins and Speed Racer that are all still in a big old train. There's nothing in it between them, and 5 minutes left to go. Could be late moves aplenty.
Yeah, it's any man's game here in Fargone Racing. We know we have race 2 as well after that, and that could really play into where you finish this race. Maybe Nathan would want to drop behind the likes of Ed and Nick, maybe give himself a better chance to try and win race number 2. It's all about your mentality and where you want to finish as Longy under a lot of pressure, but Nathan Monks is also under a lot of pressure as Ed and Nick only a 10th behind as they head down towards Stowe and towards now, if he gets a good exit, the Vale chicane. Ed and Nick trying to put the pressure on, but here comes Hugs, who has a bit of a snap on the exit as well. He puts his 720S back in check, and he can't quite get down the inside of Ed and Nick. That was a very aggressive maneuver, a very aggressive attempt there from Hugs. He's showing intent. He's showing that he wants to get past here for the P5 position, but Ed and Nick putting on an absolutely stellar defensive display as Longy and Hoggy also still battle away here for the P2 spot. This is for, effectively, if you discount Stephen Rees, the race win. It's almost like a Max Verstappen in 2022. If you get P2, you can just about count it as a win. Steve-O's an unstoppable man, but Longy is looking quite stoppable at the moment. Hoggy forced him to defend the hairpin so tightly, and he's so close. He's basically pushing Longy into the braking zone, but Longy not flinching at the moment. This is the defensive masterclass of the likes of Fernando Alonso that Longy's showing at the moment, but Hoggy is trying to find any crack in the defense that he can. He's trying to find any way past that's humanly possible here in the GT3 class. You only have so much downforce to work with, and he's using all of it through the high speed to try and get a good run. But right now, Longy taking advantage of some better straight line speed, some better exits, and he's using it to the fullest to defend from the Ferrari man who's attacking, who's been hounding his mirrors for the past 11 laps.
Oh my lord, it's just not stopping. If you try and see Nick there, you just see the gap was, I saw it in a glimpse of my eye. The gap is absolutely nothing. I think these guys are almost practically side by side, honestly. Oh, you can see it in the background. It's just way too much going on. Oh, Hoggy at the moment though. The Ferrari kicks into a little bit of an overdrive, and it's just, he's so close at that avenue. There you go, Monks. Oh my lord, you could just see Hugsy clinging onto the rear of Nick, and it's gone wide. It's going to be a problem, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. He's got to assess it. Where is he going to put the car? He's just going to hold the middle of the road, isn't he? He just does not want to let Hugsy even have a sniff of an opportunity coming into these corners. But Hugsy is going to force it. In the background, no! Speed Racer makes a pass on Perkins, I think that was. He has! He's got it done! This is for P3 in the championship. It's all to play for. And what a move! What a bold moment there. He's sized up that opportunity for the entire race. He's been lurking, waiting for it, and Perkins isn't going to go quietly into the night.
Oh no!
A bit wide there. both the championships contenders for P3 and Silver have gone around, and Speed Racer has marched off as quickly as he can, recovered it. But Perkins, he's got back as well. There's 1 minute to go, and there's no time left. They're not going to be fighting any further than they are. It's going to be a straight skirmish between the pair of them. And Axie, he's on the back, trying to chase. Perkins is right on the rear of Speed Racer still. There's going to be no love lost between the championship competitors. And in a reverse grid, it is only going to be hotter going into that grid. My lord, what are we witnessing for a finale of Fargone? It is absolutely cinema.
Yeah, I told them to put on a show. I didn't tell them to put on a whole movie, but they are delivering nonetheless. And Silverstone being a great venue to show off what these drivers are capable of here in Fargone Racing. And now it's a last lap shootout for the P2. Oh no! That was such a good run for Hoggy until it wasn't. He had such a good run.
No.
He was all over the back of Longy for a moment's time there, but he had a snap at the most inopportune of moments, and that'll probably be his last opportunity squandered well and truly here in Silverstone. But Hugs so close behind Eda Nick as they head towards Stowe. It's a 1v1 unless Nathan Monks makes a mistake, and Eda Nick is trying to use all the road, but Hugs in the McLaren is hounding the back of that BMW as he has been the whole race. Hugs with a little bit of a snap. The tyres finally starting to give away here in the dying stages, but it's anyone's game. It's anybody's guess as to who will get the P5 here. There's still half a lap to go in Silverstone, and it's looking like an absolutely fantastic finish at the moment as Eda Nick is defending for his life. He doesn't have to go defensive at Abbey at the F1 turn 1, but it is still going to be a very, very difficult effort for him to defend towards Brooklands and Luffield. But while all this battling has been ensuing, while it's all been going on, Stephen Rees, we have to cut back to him momentarily here as he makes his way around Luffield. It's an 11.3 second gap to the rest in that Ferrari, as we've so come to expect this season. And Stephen Rees takes the victory in race 1 as he rounds the final corner. A fantastic drive, but Eda Nick has been able to hold off Biggie Hugs as well, who didn't have the run onto the straight he wanted, but the field is in raptures. Longy gets P2, Hoggy gets P3, Nathan Monks is just going to hold on for P4, and Eda Nick with a stellar defense gets P5. Biggie Hugs getting the P6 position. Speed Racer, after all the flags drop, gets P7. Lee Perkins will not be happy, but he went down the inside and it didn't work at Village, and it is a P8 for Lee Perkins. MJ is going to get P9. Tobasire still on the hanger straight is going to get P10 as long as he brings it home. But what an absolutely fantastic race, and I don't think I have any words to describe that except absolutely spectacular, or absolute cinema, as you would like to put it. What a race that was, and there's still one more to go, and it's a reverse grid.
Oh, buy your tickets and get your popcorn, because we are in for another show. Let me tell you, that was absolutely fantastic stuff there. Oh my lord, I don't know where to begin really to dissect that. I mean, Monk's there, very lucky to hold on. I mean, the Ford there just proving its muscles in terms of those straights to keep him there, and it was, you know, he very easily could have slipped down that grid there. The people behind him were chasing hard, battling each other. So Monks has got a prayer to say to any deity he wants to for that race. My lord, good effort to him. Ian Nick there, solid and stellar defense there against Hugs. Hugs was putting on the pressure. And all of them were relatively in the mix for a lot of that race, leading into the last 2 laps, you know. I mean, Speed Racer there with a very audacious move, a brilliant overtake there on the inside, sized it up and sent it through, which was very well calculated. I have to really commend them for that. Put themselves into the conversation, into this reverse grid race. And Perkins is it's unfortunate, but there are positives, I think, to take away from that. You know, the pace was good. He was able to really get himself head and shoulders amongst that field. And it proves that in this reverse grid, he's got the potential to take the fight upwards. So, you know, it is going to be a massive mix in the business end of things, I think, for the championship coming into the reverse grid. And you couldn't ask for a better track for it as well, I think, honestly. You know, plenty of opportunity for overtakes, plenty of space, plenty of battling room. So it's going to be very, very intense, I would say. Steve Reeves is going to put himself right into the mix in terms of, you know, his pace and coming from the bottom of the grid. And there's going to be plenty of skirmishes to come. I would not like to be Ninja or Swooper in what's about to happen, what's about to be behind them.
Yeah,
But it's going to be
scary.
it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun and scary for those two. But your final order in race 1 is Stevo from Longy, from Hoggy, from Monks, from Edenick, then Hugs, then Racer, Perkins, MJ, Tobasiah, Dave Ross, Lee, Swooper, and Ninja. And reverse that for your starting grid order for race 2. But Sensational TV will be back in a moment's time. We just need a quick breather in the comms box before we go into race number 2 while the servers tick over. We have enjoyed the racing action so far. I hope you have too, and we'll see you again in a moment.
Business end of the grid now.
All right, as you hear. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are back with Simsational TV once again. Lindsay Muddle and Charles Burton in the commentary box. But now we have 2 minutes before we get ready and racing again for Fargone Racing GT Challenge. And I'm going to correct it this time. Season 19. I got there. I'm so sorry. Steve-O. Feel free to laugh at me. I've been calling it Season 20 all night. I don't know why it happens. Who knows? Maybe I was looking at like the track temp or something. Who knows? It happens. But yeah, thank you for watching, Tash. Thank you for watching all season and last season. I'll see you next season. And Steve-O, good luck with race number 2. But we have a big race ahead of us. Swooper starting on the pole position with Lee and Ross in P2 and P3. Then that entire silver class battle we got to watch and enjoy with the popcorn is now reversed. So you have Tobasire, MJ, Lee Perkins, Speed Racer, Hugs, all together with Eda Nick behind that battle now instead of leading it. And then Nathan Monks. And then Hoggy, Longy will be battling once again. And Stephen Reese is in P13. Ninja has decided to start from the back instead of starting up the front with the reverse grid. But we have 40 seconds until we get back underway for racing action. And Charles, I'll tell you what, we are in for an absolute rip snorter.
Mate, absolutely. I mean, you saw it in the first race there. The tension is high, the aggression is right out there, and the elbows are out. There's nothing left in it coming into this last race. And it couldn't be a more fitting finale to this championship, to this silver title as well. I mean, Hugs has got to chase past Speed Racer. Lee Perkins has got to make up that grid. The points are all going to come into it. And, just to kind of remind it for these silver drivers, right behind them, they've got all the pro drivers trying to come past. It's not going to be an easy task whatsoever. 25 minutes. You've got to give it everything you can and use all of the racecraft that you can to get these points and to get that title. My heart is racing. I'm excited. I'm looking so forward to this. And I know for a fact we are going to see some limbs flying, I think is the appropriate term.
Yeah, I would agree, as the green flags are ready to fly, the green lights are ready to illuminate for one last time in Fargone Racing GT Challenge Season 19, and we are underway, and Dave Ross is down the inside of Lee already. It's turn 1, MJ is a little bit wayward on the inside, Lee Perkins already trying to make moves, he's on the inside of Tobasire as they head into Maggots and Beckett's, now he nearly gets rear-ended by Hugs. Nathan Monks is all out of shape as well, as though Dave Ross goes skidding across the track here. A shuffle, oh no, as that is the Aston Martin tapped around of Lee. He manages just about to get it back in check as Lee Perkins already up into P3 with Hugs as well. Nathan Monks in the background watching and gaining places at 3 wide down the hanger straight into the braking zone. MJ on the inside of Tobasire for P6. He gets down the inside. Speed Racer as well in the background, getting a place. Steve-O as well is down the inside of a couple of cars as Longy and Eda Nick goes side by side into Vale now. Hoggy on the outside, oh no! That's disaster there. Longy gets tapped around into Eda Nick, and that is what a reverse grid can cause.
Oh my lord, it just doesn't stop moving, does it? The skirmish was just too fierce. They all went side by side, and you knew it was going to happen. It was just bound to happen in that sort of situation. But Perkins, he's on the podium. He's put himself head and shoulders above, and Hugs is chasing. These two are very well known to each other, and they're not going to give each other an inch a bit of room. It's going to be fighting all the way to the line. Ross up ahead in the AM class, doing the best that he can in the Ford. So Harold Perkins, it's going to be a tall order, but Swoop is ahead as well. So the top 3 there, it's all going to be coming down to it in the first lap, I've got to say. And Hoggy there trying to make a move on the Benton and Hedges BM. And I think he just about gets it done. Yes, he does. Speed Racer there in the background as well. Monks trying to size up the order there, trying to get to the inside. The power of the Eagles is going to fly, and it's going to soar, and it's going to screech, and it's going to move right past Hugsy very nicely there. And the McLaren not having the same legs. And Monks puts himself into P4 to chase after Perkins, who Perkins is chasing after Ross. Turbizarre there. Tries to hold us the inside. Reese is going to run past, race past, and leave nothing in any sort of contention there to worry about. But it's going to be very close in this sector here. Monks trying to go as fast as he can in this sector here to just get away from the McLaren. Oh, what has happened there? My lord. Perkins is P2. He's already got the move done there, and he seems to just be sort of letting people go their hugs here. The run there is just about there, and Hugsy just sort of eats it all up and says, thank you very much, I will take that position. Dare I say it, sensational stuff. Something I have not much used in this series, but it has certainly been there. And my lord MG there trying to size up the move. Fast. Oh, wide line there. He's going to keep it just about. Legs have been found. Leigh Perkins dashes to the outside, looks for the room. He's going to dogfight round. I don't know if he's got the move done. Potentially, yes, he's looking at it. He's going to go down the inside. We're not going to see on the camera. It's all got a bit weird.
Oh,
and
no!
It goes wide off. It's been a big move there. Speed Racer throws him round. MMA style throws him out and puts him into a bloody submission hold. And Speed Racer's going to go past.
Oh, no,
the
Super!
It's all going absolutely pear-shaped at the moment. Perkins at the P1, but Sweeper has been taken right out. And Monks is going to be on him. Monks is in P2. Hugsy behind was all for the championship. This is what it comes down to, Silverstone. And I knew this was going to be the situation. I knew this was going to be the case on this circuit. A finale to come, reverse quiz. This is what happens. And Lindsay, my lord, what are we witnessing? This is history in Fargone. Some absolute skirmishes. People being sent round, and Monks is chasing for P1, but Perkins leads. Perkins has got the baton, and he sure as hell is being chased for it to be handed over.
Yeah, it is absolutely sensational stuff, as you said, Charles, as they make their way lap by lap. There's movers and shakers everywhere on this grid since the race start. The grid looking very separated at the moment. Stephen Reese with the fastest lap of this race has a little bit of clean air still in front of him before he can get to the back of it, and he can get that move done. But meanwhile, up the front, Nathan Monks in the Ford Mustang is right behind Leigh Perkins for the race lead. Surely he's close enough. He's in the wheel tracks, and he does look down the inside, but he doesn't go down the inside, but Hoggy does go down the inside of MJ at Stowe. Gets that move done, but now towards Vale, who's going to be last on the brakes? Monks has that inside line as they make their way through the chicane. Leigh Perkins just about defending, but Monks with the switchback has the run through Club Corner. He's right underneath the BMW as they make their way down towards turn one, but he's not close enough to go for that elusive move at turn one, the GP turn one. That's so hard to pull off. Stephen Reese all over the back of Eda Nick at the moment. He's sizing up a move. He's very wide, and now surely he goes down the inside of Village. No, he doesn't. He is going to wait for the Wellington straight as, oh no, Leigh Perkins.
It's not the championship! What happens? He must have been sent round. Oh my god, Mark went off as well. Big damage, huge collision there, and that's going to put him right out of contention there. There's going to be Hugsy P1 for the silver title. Huge scenes here at Silverstone. You couldn't predict it, you couldn't put money on it, and if you did, they'd call you mad. Absolute scenes there as he spun round. Hugsy's going to be P1, Hoggy's going to be chasing 2 seconds behind, MJ in P3. Oh, Perkins, it's all gone wrong for the P3 challenge there, and that's probably going to put them out of contention unless they do an absolutely fantastic recovery job. Hugsy, you've got it all to do. This could be another win on the cards, but Perkins is going to be kicking himself. He was on for such a good result. Oh no, you just got to feel for him. But was it self-inflicted? We don't know. It will all be in the debris to find and sift out. But Monks way down into P11 there, who's going to be even more rightfully upset with the situation there, and words I'm sure will be shared between the drivers. You can see the damage there to Leigh Perkins. He's not going to have the car behind him. Championship might have just been licked and sent to the bank there for, I believe it's Speed Racer. It's Speed Racer and MJ for that matter. Well, Speed Racer's still got to chase up the Hugsy, and he's got much to do, but Oh dear, it's all gone pear-shaped, doesn't it? It's just so much bloody going on here at Fargone today, and my heart sincerely cannot keep up with it. But brilliant stuff, giving Silverstone a right name for it. And MJ just sort of peels off there, and that's not a shortcut, my friend. I don't think you should be doing that. But Etanik is being chased by Reese. Reese on the inside. Reese looking to be passed. No, it's not enough, I don't think, unless he hustles him. No, he comes back into the inside there. Perkins is assessing the situation as well. Oh, Lindsay, I don't know what your take is, mate, but bloody hell, it's just been absolutely cinema so far.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we're both losing our voices here in the commentary box. And I'll tell you what, it's early morning for Charles in the commentator's seat beside me. But he's absolutely trucking on like a champion, and at the moment this is definitely giving him a good wake-up call in the other side of the comms box. And Nick is absolutely trying to defend from Stephen Reese at the moment. Hugs has a 1.7 second gap across the field, so Stephen Reese still has plenty of time to chase down the silver class and overall leader in car number 95, but he needs to get a move on here. He doesn't want to run out of time. Nick proving to be a worthy competitor here as Stephen Reese hunts for this race victory. He has four more cars to pick off in front of him before he can get to the race lead, but he's trying to put the pressure on left and right here to Nick. This race has been flipped on its head, sideways, backwards, anything you could count, I think you could probably say has happened here in the final race of season number 19, and what a season it's been. But this has definitely been the best racing of the lot. If you had to vote, I can already tell you this has been round of the season, and it's not over just yet as Steve-O laid down the inside, nearly pulled up alongside Nick. That puts the pressure onto the BMW as they make their way towards Vale now. Stephen Reese the long way round on Nick, still has a nose, and he switches underneath. He switches again, and he's going to get a beautiful run now through Club Corner, and that is a beautiful bit of racing from Stephen Reese. That's textbook stuff here at the Club Corner, and if you wanted to show someone how to pull off a double switchback, that is what you'd show them. That clip right there, insert here, that is the lesson. That is the exact textbook dictionary way to do it, and Stephen Reese has pulled it off to absolute perfection, and now he only has Speed Racer and Hoggy between himself and a 1v1 with Hugs here with 15.5 minutes to go.
My lord, it is all kicking off here. Just to sort of bring you into, I think I had a little bit of muddle there. It is Leigh Perkins versus MJ for P3, Speed Racer versus Hugsy for P1 in the Silver Championship. So I think Hugsy right now is on par for the silver title, and Perkins perhaps for P3 still, even with the moments there. But I mean, you don't want to leave anything out there. It's all the pride, isn't it? You want that P1, and Perkins is going to be rightfully still kicking themselves at this part of the race. But I've got to say, Steve Reese is on the hunt, isn't he? And he's chasing after Speed Racer. 14 minutes to go. Reese is going to mount such a challenge. Hugs has got it all to do if he's going to keep this P1.
Yeah, it is going to be an absolutely daunting and tasking drive. He wants to bring this one home. We saw him do it in Misano in a very, very similar situation, except it was in full wet conditions and in Italy. But it was a very similar situation. Steve-O still just has a couple of more cars to pick through, much like he did in Misano, and he wasn't able to close up and get past Hugs, but this time he has a little bit more time and a little bit more pace at his disposal at this point in the season, the final round of the season, and he has a great run on Speed Racer towards the chicane. But he isn't going to go down the inside. Not quite close enough for a move just yet. But he's all over the back of the Aston Martin as the prancing horse sends its way around this British circuit. And he has British machinery in his sights. And we have a British commentator in the commentary box. I don't know how much more British you can get than this. But in the background, Longy is putting the pressure onto Leigh Perkins. The stricken, damaged, sensational BMW is under pressure from the man who got P2 in race number 1, and he's now trying to put the pressure on for P6, and he goes to the outside of the BMW. He's now trying to get back underneath the BMW. He gets a wider run, a better exit. Now surely as they head through the loop and now towards Aintree, and then the Wellington Straight next up. But meanwhile, Speed Racer and Stephen Reese are so close together towards Brooklands. but Steve-O not going down the inside. Lee Perkins under an immense amount of pressure, but still Longy not going for it. They know they can bite their time. They know they have time to work with here in Silverstone, so Longy's not going to force it, but Steve-O on the raggedy edge of that Ferrari's limit, of this track's limit. He was grazing the gravel there on the exit, and now they make their way into Copse Corner. Speed Racer is going to need a monumental, a fantastic run, or many other adjectives that I could use if he can try and hold off Stephen Rees. But Steve-O's charging here. He's pushing Racer through these corners here in Silverstone, and that Ferrari is more than on the hunt. He's on an absolute killing spree here at the moment, metaphorically, not the on-track killing kind, but the absolute dream-killing kind, as he's now on the inside here of the Aston Martin and Speed Racer. Does he have the legs in a straight line? No, but he has the legs under braking, and he gets it done here at Stowe, and Speed Racer is not going to repute that one. Stephen Rees moving up into P3.
My lord, you could just see it there. He was just sizing up where is Rees going to attack from there, and Rees just had the right measure there to just throw the car through. Yeah, it's hard to defend from that position. And right now, Hoggy slowly closing in towards Hugs, and that is going to bring Rees much more into contention there for the last P1 of the season. And greedy man, Mr. Rees, trying to hog all of them, but he certainly is, and he's thanking Hoggy for chasing up as much as he can. Purple lap at the moment. Hunt is on 11 minutes to go. There's still time in it. And Hugs, I can't imagine the heart rate in the car at the moment. 0.3 is the gap with Hoggy, chasing behind. He's really got to give his best impression of a Spitfire, might I say, ducking and diving left and right, trying to make sure to keep that Italian stallion out of the mirrors. Inside, Hoggy tries to go, but he costs himself, drifts it wide. Hugs is going to keep it, and it's huge stuff there from Hugs, I've got to say. Oh, no, he's made a mistake, though. He's cost himself. He's gone into the gravel, into the grass. It's going to cost himself some time. Rear wing is going to be the best friend of Hoggy there as he gets that hole punched in the air for him. Coming into this sector here, he's going to really keep the foot in it. He's going to keep close, and it's nothing much in it. We've seen this before, though, with Longy. The same fight, different colours, different stripes. But I just think Hugs has got enough in the tank right now. Will it be in vain, though? I mean, number 15 there, Eatonnick, has gone completely off the circuit. So has 33 as well, actually, which was Longy. Both on yellows. What happened there?
We will take a look at that. We'll go 30 seconds towards turn 1. He turns into Copse Corner. Does the BMW just... Oh, he's just...
Oh, what the hell? Wait, what?
So he just stopped in the middle of Copse Corner. I'm sure that is hardware related. And then Longy was just a passenger. He had absolutely nowhere to go. And that is highly unfortunate there up the front. And that is not what you want to be seeing. But hardware failures are a part of sim racing. But look at this three-way fight now for the race victory. Hugs is... What's happened?
It's put Lee Perkins. No, it's put Lee Perkins to P5. I was just going to say, and yeah, you're right. Carry on, my friend. Bloody hell, it's continuing.
As Hugs is under pressure. Now, Hoggy trying to put the pressure on once again, but Steve-O's hunting. He's lurking. He's been chasing tail for 7 laps now in that white and black Ferrari that we know so synonymously for winning every time he's given the opportunity. And now he has the target in his sights once again. Only 2 cars can stop him from now to the checkered flag to take victory twice in a row here to finish out the season. But Steve-O's going to give it everything he has. Hoggy, we know he struggled to get past a McLaren in race 1, as you pointed out, Charles. And now we're going to see rinse and repeat all over again. But can Steve-O also overcome those challenges and get past Biggie Hugs, and as well as a fellow Italian bit of machinery in the Ferrari 296? The 3 cars pushing as hard as they can. Take a look at those lines. Very, very similar, except for Hugs just going a little bit wider, using the extra minimum speed that McLaren can carry. But that wasn't the best run onto the straight there for Hugs, as they still battle away here in a 3-car tandem train here with 8.5 minutes to go. But Hoggy might get distracted by the lurking, by the hunting, by the absolutely flying Steve-O in his mirrors, but he just needs to keep his eyes forward. If he can just get Hugs in between himself and Steve-O, he could be on here to try and snatch a win from the jaws of defeat here.
Oh my God! I mean, you've got to say Hoggy right now is in such a difficult spot. He's got to try and put Hugs between him and Reese. Reese is just chasing them down at the moment, and right behind Speed Racer is just analysing how this position is going to go. He's going to try and to the inside. It's not going to have the speed. I'm giving myself hiccups with all this bloody action. Nevertheless, Hoggy
down the inside.
It goes. Oh, it's into the rear bumper though. Hoggy, is he going to hold the inside? It's going to be quite naughty.
Oh
it's
no!
Be naughty.
No, Steve-O!
And that is going to be their hopes for P1 sent into the absolute shadow realm. He was holding it in, but it just spun it round. As soon as he hit the grass, the Ferrari bit in hard, and that is going to be that challenge knocked away. Lane Perkins in the distance sees this happening and will be chasing up towards Reese. I don't think they will have the pace, but Speed Racer is P3, Hoggy is P2, Hugs is P1, and there's still 7 minutes to go. Hoggy was still on the chase. I don't think there was too much damage, and it is all going to be something special, isn't it? What's the Delta selling us is still under a second. Hoggy, you've got to put everything in it now. This is your chance for P1. You've got to leave nothing left out for chance here. It's just the last event, the finale. Blow out your candles and find something special, mate, because you've really got to lick the stamp and send it. Hugsy, he's going to keep this position for now, but there's still time. Steve Reese is absolutely pushing like a bat out of hell. You can see him drifting the damn car on a straight, for God's sake. He is leaving nothing left out there. I don't know if he's got much damage. I think he was just sent round. But Reese, you can tell it. He's angry. He is pissed off, and he wants to find this position at the moment.
Yeah, it absolutely all went wrong, and I'll tell you what, I feel like in the grand scheme of things, you do a lot of police work, mate. Where does that rank on the scale of crime scenes that you've witnessed? Because that was fairly outrageous what we've just seen happen before our eyes about a lap ago.
Oh my God, there's a lot of strawberry jam all around the car of Mr. Reese, I can tell you that much, as he got spun round. A bit of a homicide there, absolutely. But I don't know if there was the intent there from Hoggy. It certainly was aggressive, but I don't think you can establish that intent. Whoa, Perkins! Oh, it's going to get punchy, MJ. This is for the title, mind you.
Oh, he's on the grass!
And that... Oh my Lord, that was a bit naughty there, Perkins. Oh, Monk goes round. Oh my Lord. Well, okay, Kangaroo springing along, throwing its bloody legs out. He just comes back onto the circuit, and Monk is now chasing Perkins. It's not going to be simple, though. It really isn't.
Yeah, it is absolutely all kicking off here in Silverstone. What a final round it's been. That's a big snap there for Hugs, and that invites Hoggy back within 1 second as they cross the line. That just gives him a little bit more hope here in that Ferrari. He was caught up in an incident. He clearly has damage on that Ferrari. Look at the front end of that 296. That's not meant to look like that. It's not meant to have all those scrapes and scratches all over the front, but he's still giving it absolutely everything he can here to try and get the victory off of Hugs. But Hugs, if he can take this victory, it would be his 3rd win of the season and to go with a silver class title.
He's honestly, from looking at how the field was, from how that start was, he's come out reasonably damn well. It was really scrappy. There was plenty of battling happening there, but Hugs, he's really made it stick. He's made use of his opportunities. The car's in a good way. He's really just got to push to the end. Hoggy is 1.1 away. He's sort of lost him out of the back of the rear wing. He's doing really well, but Speed Racer is chasing up to Hoggy at the moment. The podium positions are quite set unless Steve Reese absolutely sends it into overdrive. I don't think these three are going to be particularly threatened from him at the moment. But this is the main battle. Hugs, you've got to feel for him. This is what, you know, the season has been leading up to for him. He has been practicing marshalling that McLaren at the moment, trying to find where he can get more time out of it. I know him quite well. We've spoken about it at length, and Hugsy, you can feel the tension in the car, can't you? It's really palpable with how he's got Hoggy chasing, and Hoggy's got the time down back within a second. There's still slipstream to gain. There's still enough time to make use of it to mount a bit more of an attack. And I think Hugs, the pressure is there. Sweaty hands, sweaty pits for sure, as Hoggy is chasing closer and closer. And you can just see it in the rear view mirror. It's not a position you like to see, and you can feel that in the car. You want to defend more. You want to make sure that your opponent can't get those good runs, but you feel the inevitable. You feel them getting a bit closer, and that is not a feeling that you want as Hugs right now. He wants to get this third win. He wants this easy title, and I think he's got the title in hand, but he's still got it all to do for the win. It's just, look at the lines. So the tyres are still working with him. I think the McLaren's still in a reasonably good state, but Hoggy, he's just getting closer and closer. A better read of the apexes, perhaps.
And this is getting really close.
Lindsay, I don't know.
This is getting really close between the two of them now, as the gap is 0.5 of a second as they head down the hangar straight and into Stoke Corner. Hugs not using all the racetrack on the entry. I think he just wants to bring this one home. This is the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Next lap will be the final lap of the season here in Fargone, and Hoggy is more than arrived on the scene, and in the background as well as Speed Racer to pick up the pieces if it all goes wrong for the 700th time this race up the front. But Hugs is going to have to put on a stellar defense, a stellar performance if he wants to hold off from Hoggy. We know he's done it a couple of times tonight, but this is going to be absolutely sensational stuff here. There's a lap and a sector to go here in Silverstone, and Hoggy is more than on the hunt. He's smelling the blood here of Hugs as he's chasing down victory, and he's going to try and get this at all costs as they head through Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. The Ferrari in the slipstream. I don't think he'll go for a move here. I think surely it's got to be a Stowe or Vale chicane sort of move, but maybe not, as that is a nose in there for Hoggy. It's getting closer and closer and closer, and Hugs is just not quite able to hold him off. But right now he's still sitting just in front, but Hoggy looks like he has the pressure. He's filling Hugs' mirrors, and surely that purple McLaren's mirrors will be absolutely filled with red, and the pressure will be more than felt at the moment in Biggie Hugs' cockpit.
My lord, I mean, you've got to say it. Hoggy's going to be having nightmares of McLaren's in front of him if this continues. He's got to try to find a way past, and he surely is. That's the trouble, I think, for Hugs at the moment. He can feel that Hoggy is just sort of scything and assessing where you're weak and where I can find that position. And he's right on him now. You can just see it coming out of this sector, right along the rear wing of him. Hoggy is going to try and fight off Hugsy, and it's not helpful that the pair have the same bloody name practically, but nevertheless, Hoggy, he dives the outside. He's kept the speed through. I don't think it's enough. He's going to go to the right. He's going to side to the left. He's going to set it up. Hugs is going to hold the middle of the road, though. He's going to maintain the defense. He's going to put down a purple wall, and there's not many corners left to do it in. There's half the track left. Hoggy can't leave much left out to chance. Speed Racer in the rear view mirror as well, and Steve Rees watching this unfold with a premium seat at the moment, a VIP seat, one would say, with the purple lap that he has set in. And Hugs, you can really feel for him. Hoggy's going to cut round. He's going to bring that car to a nice steady apex. Oh, I think Hugs has got the better of him there. Half a second's in it. Not much left to go. And Hugs, you feel for him. He's fought for this season. This could be his third win. He's completely chopping out of that slipstream there. Lindsay, take us away for the conclusion, my friend. It's more than deserved.
And it looks like after all the dust had settled here in Silverstone, after a fantastic race one and all the drama, all the controversy here in season 19, the final round has been no exception. But Hugs, for the third time this season, is going to take the victory to finish the season. What a victory from Biggie Hugs. Hoggy won't be disappointed with P2, but it's a matter of what if in that Ferrari, and what a finish it was there between the two of them. But at the end of the day, when all the dust settles, it has been an absolutely fantastic season and a fantastic race, an entire round. And Hoggy settling for P2. Speed Racer gets a podium as well. And Steve-O, despite an incident, despite starting from second last on the grid, gets a 4th position and the fastest lap. Nathan Monks gets home a P5. MJ gets a P6. Swooper gets 7th. Ninja gets 8th. Tobasire getting the 9th position. Dave Ross rounding out your top 10 from Lee, Longy, and Eden Nick. And what an absolutely fantastic race that was. You couldn't have called that. You couldn't have betted on that if you tried. That was fantastic stuff.
Oh, that honestly, that's probably one of my favourite races I've ever casted in my life. That was absolutely fantastic. A sincere congratulations is in order for Hugs for his 3rd win of the season and for, I believe, the title as well. And to Steve Rees as well. I mean, he's been absolutely fantastic at the times I've watched him this season. He's left nothing at all on the track, is he? You know, at any situation he's been given, he's been absolutely rapid in the car, and I look forward to seeing him next season as well. So sincere congratulations to Steve Rees for the title in the pro class and for Mr. Hugsy for his silver title. A very great battle has been spilled on this jacket. I've loved it, every minute of it. Thank you so much for having me along. It has been sensational. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, and thank you for joining me. I definitely don't think I would have survived that one without you. I'll tell you what, my vocal cords were already struggling even with a co-commentator in the box, but that was a fantastic round and just a snippet into what you could see in Fargone Racing next season going into season number 20. Fantastic racing from everyone all around. Congrats to Stephen Rees on the championship, and at least as far as we can pick it, Biggie Hugs is your silver class champion. We thank you all for watching here at Simsational TV. That is just a snippet of the racing action that gets called here, not just by myself and Charles, but also Zach O'Reilly and Chris Munro over in the V8 series and the Wednesday Cup. But it has been absolutely fantastic calling this season. We will be back for next season here in Fargone Racing. Thank you for watching, everybody. I have been Lindsay Mel in the comms box. I've been joined by Charles Burton, and good night.